Howdy, folks. This is Big Tex here, and we're going to talk about the presidential election 2020 between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, and the states chronologically when they'll be declared for each candidate based on the way the networks do it. This is CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox News. They declare the states as their polling booths close, and as we all know, the country does not have all the polling booths close at the same time, so this is the chronological way, exactly the way the networks will call each state. Starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we have Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, South Carolina, Virginia, and Vermont. Vermont will go with Joe Biden, Indiana, and Kentucky for Donald Trump. Those states have some of their polling booths close Eastern Time and some close Central Time, and as the networks do it, they'll just wait for the whole state to finish voting before they make a declaration. But these two will be easy. They'll be for Donald Trump. Same with South Carolina. Virginia, Georgia, I believe will be considered battleground states, too close to call until they get more data in to make a decision. And at this time, Donald Trump has 28 electoral votes. Joe Biden has 3. 7:30 p.m. West Virginia, Ohio, North Carolina, their voting booths close. West Virginia will be an easy one to declare for Donald Trump. Ohio and North Carolina will be considered too close to call, and we will move along. Each of these states are battleground states that have yet to be decided. So let's now move to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We have a number of eastern states here going for Joe Biden: Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Washington, D.C. They'll go for Biden. New Hampshire, very close in the 2016 election, will not be declared yet by the networks. Alabama, Tennessee, Mississippi, Oklahoma. The Democratic Party on the federal level, presidential campaign may not even, Joe Biden campaign may not even campaign in these states. Trump has a fairly comfortable lead. One could even say that for Missouri, past few elections, but the last polling recently, a number of polls had the election fairly close. So I believe the networks will not make that call as of yet. Illinois, voting very consistently with the Democrats, and that will go for Joe Biden. Too close to call, we have Florida. And so obviously a large state and would be Eastern time zone, except for their panhandle would be Central time, and so therefore they're not going to make their call just yet. And again, it's a battleground state anyway. Florida, Pennsylvania, Ohio, traditionally slow getting their data in, so there's no decision made yet on these states. As of right now, Joe Biden has 75 electoral votes, Donald Trump has 66, and then that brings us to Maine. Maine, they have a unique way of doing it. Instead of a winner-take-all for all the electoral votes, they base it on at-large and then the 2 congressional districts. Biden has been leading the state in polling, but it's not divided up by congressional district. We do know that the 1st congressional district is very strong for Biden. The 2nd congressional district went to Trump by 10 points, but there's just been no polling data, so we cannot have anything definitive just yet. Now we're going to move to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The state of Arkansas closes their polling booths. We'll go for Donald Trump. At this time, the first battleground, and should be fairly easy, Virginia is double digits in favor of Joe Biden. Virginia will be declared for Joe Biden. That gives Biden 89 electoral votes. Donald Trump has 72. We do have a number of the undecided states that we will get to, but as of right now, this is where everything stands. Moving to the 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And those states are Arizona, Colorado, Kansas, Louisiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, New Mexico, New York, South Dakota, Texas, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. So this covers states all through various regions. New York, go for Biden. Kansas, South Dakota, Wyoming, Louisiana will go for Trump. Colorado, New Mexico will go for Biden. Those are fairly consistent in the last few elections. We have Nebraska. Their format is very much like Maine. At large, in this instance, would go for Trump. Congressional District 1 and 3 will go with Trump. Congressional District 2 almost went for Hillary in 2016, so I believe Biden has a strong chance there. And this is the way these states will be declared at this present moment. I think at this time, Maine at large would be declared for Joe Biden. And New Hampshire, not that many votes up there, and I think based on polling, the networks will declare that state for Joe Biden. We have a number of these states yet to be decided for obvious reasons. Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, these states, part of the so-called Rust Belt that went predominantly for Donald Trump, except for Minnesota, went for Clinton. These are yet to be determined, and we will get to them shortly. Now we have 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Iowa, Montana, Nevada, and Utah. Montana and Utah, even though polling is closer than expected, I think Trump will be declared the winner. Nevada, too close to call. Iowa had been Democratic state for a number of election cycles. Donald Trump carried it by 10 points in 2016, but polling recently has it very close, so that will be a toss-up. And of course, Arizona and Texas, it's going to be a while before they are deciding who is there because they're fairly close. And Texas, of course, has their western portion, El Paso, in the Mountain Time Zone. Florida has been fairly consistent for Joe Biden in polling, very, very consistent for Biden, but the networks just aren't going to call Florida too early, as they all remember the debacle of the 2000 election when it was called too early. I believe at this time you'll see some of these states like Michigan, a battleground state, but Trump is trailing easily over 10 points. So I believe that will go for Biden, as will Minnesota. And then the 2nd district in Nebraska will go for Biden. And Missouri, I believe, will go for Trump at this time. And I believe that is where we stand. It could be safe to say that if a decision would be made in Maine, 2nd Congressional District, that it would be decided at this point, and we'd have to go with Trump because we just don't have any data to say otherwise. That leaves us with Joe Biden with 165 electoral votes, Donald Trump with 116, and we will move on to the 11 p.m. Eastern Time. That gives us California, Idaho, North Dakota, Oregon, and Washington State. North Dakota, Idaho for Trump, Washington, Oregon, California for Biden, and especially with the 55 electoral votes California has, Joe Biden has 239 electoral votes, and Donald Trump has 123 electoral votes. We have a huge advantage now for Joe Biden. And we have a number of these states that have yet to be declared, and Biden would have to pick up just a handful to become the next president. I think at this time, Iowa would be declared for Trump. Moving along, Texas, Arizona, Nevada. Of these, I would say Nevada would be going for Joe Biden based on the polling. And then we'd have, I'd say at this time, polling in Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania is always slow to get in their returns, but Pennsylvania at this time, the polling either has it close or has Biden with 7, 8, 9, 10 point lead. I think at this time, Biden would be declared the winner by the networks. And that gives Biden 265 electoral votes, Donald Trump 129. I think Wisconsin would come in next, and that would give Biden the 270 plus he needs to become the next president. At this time, I believe Arizona will come in for Biden. If you look at the polling, Biden has been leading consistently for the last few months. And in my honest opinion, once Biden is declared the winner by the networks, Florida, which Biden has been ahead in polling for months, it would be declared for Joe Biden. Moving along, at midnight, Hawaii comes in, traditionally for the Democratic candidate. And at this time, we have Biden with 319 electoral votes, Donald Trump with 129. And these next states are close, except for Alaska. Alaska comes in at 1 a.m. Eastern Time. That goes for Donald Trump. Of these states here, North Carolina has been more for Biden. Texas more for Trump, leaving us with Ohio and Georgia, which polling booths closed way early, but they're neck and neck, and this would even be considered a coin flip. I'd probably say at this time, until I see data otherwise, Ohio and Georgia would go for Donald Trump, giving him 204 electoral votes, Joe Biden 334 electoral votes, and Biden is the next president of the United States. I look forward to your feedback and comments below. Thank you very much.